and we got to take care of each other. So if you see somebody that's hurting, don't look away. And if you're hurting, even though it might be hard, try to find that bravery within yourself to dive deep and go tell somebody and take them up in your head with you. I love you. Thank you so much to the Grammys. Thank you.
That's Lady Gaga, of course, addressing the importance of reaching out for help at the Grammy Awards. The superstar has spoken openly about dealing with mental illness, including depression, anxiety, and PTSD.
Her mother, Cynthia Germanotta, who looks just like her, rather Gaga looks like her mom, joins us now to talk about the impact of mental illness on family and friends. Germanotta teamed up with her daughter, who she calls Stephanie, that's her name, also known as Lady Gaga to the rest of us, to create the Born This Way Foundation. It works to educate people about mental and emotional wellness. Cynthia Germanotta, thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
We're very glad
Thank
you're
you for
here.
having me.
Because
I'm so inspired by you focusing on this. Thank you.
We're delighted to do this. You know, Gaga has talked very openly about it, and you said, you know, when she was a kid, you always knew she was unique. When did it go from unique to Houston, we have a problem at your house?
Well, yeah. Well, first, you know, we all have mental health, but I believe that we, as both individuals and society, we don't treat it the same way that we treat physical health.
Yes.
So certainly when it happened in our house, I didn't know what to look for. As a parent, I wasn't prepared to really address this. Stephanie was very unique, and that wasn't always appreciated by her peers. And as a result, she went through a lot of difficult times, humiliated, taunted, isolated. When you're a young woman, this really severely impacts you. And it was in middle school when I saw that turn happen. You know, when she went from a very happy and aspirational young girl to somebody that started to question her self-worth, to have doubts about herself, and that is when we actually saw the turn. What I didn't realize, because I wasn't prepared, is how to really deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up, times were different. The way that we would deal with things is what I learned, and that's what I resorted to. You know, I relied on...
Get a grip?
I relied on getting a grip. I relied on the generational grit of just sucking it up and getting on with it.
But even if you do learn to listen, sometimes it's still very hard, and I've been in this situation, to know what to do.
It's very hard to know what to do. And then the impact on families, what I didn't realize is the profound impact that it can have. It basically turns the focus of everything onto that one individual. And families feel conflicted about it. They don't really understand it. It causes conflict and a lot of stress within the families. It can also cause feelings, for me personally, feelings of guilt, of helplessness, not knowing how to help my daughter. So what I really learned is that no family is immune from this, and we should all really learn, you know, where we would go and who we would turn to if something like this happened in our families.
Now that you've been through it, you've come out the other side, what advice or recommendation do you have to other people who right now may have a family member going through this very thing?
Well, one of the most difficult things for me as a parent was understanding what was normal and what was not normal. When you look at young children in particular. You know, what is normal adolescent development and then a real issue? And that for me was not knowing how to distinguish between certain both emotional and behavioral changes. You know, your emotions, there's very noticeable changes that happen. Feelings of sadness, feelings of feeling selfless and worthless. In terms of behavior, you might be more angry, crying, turning to substance abuse.
What do you recommend?
What's the most important thing a parent can do?
Well, the most important thing that they can do is really listen and understand. What I learned from my daughter is to listen and validate her feelings. I think as parents, our natural instinct is to go into problem-solving mode.
So relatable,
When in fact, you know, they really just want us to take them seriously and understand what they're saying.
And sometimes they don't often want to talk to their parents or talk to their peers. Is it important to find somebody that they can talk to?
Absolutely.
They're not talking to you.
We've learned from our research that young people often don't turn to their parents, because they feel...
We get on their nerves.
There's fear of being judged. Also, we as parents, we don't talk about our own struggles. I encourage parents to be vulnerable. Talk about your current or past struggles. So it really models healthy conversations and good behavior.
Fabulous.
So the biggest thing is to really talk to them. And it's certainly okay to not be okay and start to have these conversations.
Cynthia Germanotta, thank you so much for coming in and
Thank
talking
you so much for having me. I applaud you.